Good morning, Story Trading VIPs. We're going to start with the macro QQQ SPY up. Now, there's a intermediate term reason for that, and I'm also going to identify the short-term reason why we're up. So remember, we're still above the key 50-week moving averages in SPY. So to me, we're still in a bullish trend overall. Plus, we have that Fed pivot from a couple Wednesdays ago. So for those reasons, I think we have that intermediate tailwind pushing us up. Now, near term, what happened last night and today? We had Disney earnings, and Disney reacted very well to that report. We'll cover that in a second. And then this morning, we had revised job loss numbers or jobless claims, which came in worse than expected, which is good for the market, right? And you can see that by TLT and UUP. Good news, bad news is good news. TLT is going up, rate expectations going down. This means, hey, people are losing their jobs. The Fed can't be too hawkish. That's why you see UP going down, which is good for risk assets, which we should see in ARKK here this morning. And Bitcoin maybe lagging a little bit. Maybe Bitcoin's going to catch up with UUP down. That's usually good for risk assets. So, right, that's your kind of intermediate tailwind we talked about, plus the reasoning for why we're popping this morning. So, Disney up 6%. Look, I don't know Disney that well. It's kind of a complicated company with a lot of moving parts. We did get Bob Iger back as CEO, so that's really helping Disney. It's breaking out here on restructuring, cutting $5 billion in costs, so all good things. Look, if you look at the technicals here, I think you see these two candles right here. The top of that one is 123. Top of this one, 126. Maybe a move to 123 to 126 is possible. But I am not as convicted on this as fundamentals and the sentiment really, really well and understand the investor psychology. I understand the long-term fundamental outlook, the FOMO in that. But Disney don't understand it as much, so I don't have as much conviction that we're going to hit this 123 to 126 level. But look at the 130 resistance. Very interesting right here. It was very strong support for 3, 4, 5 candles, and then you can see it got rejected, and then it became resistance. That's pretty interesting because, and you see it here too, back in 2019, again at that same 130 level. Wow, it's a very pivotal level. So it's very interesting. I've found when you're that close to such an important level, the market it sometimes becomes a magnet. People are like, okay, well let's test 130 again just to get rejected, right? So that's a possibility here. Just looking at the technicals. Now, again, I don't have a strong conviction on this because I don't know the company as intimately as I might know it as a Tesla, and it's just more complicated. You know, even the Chat GPT with Microsoft, that's like a huge component of Microsoft, a huge opportunity even for a multi-trillion-dollar company. Disney, a little more complicated, not as much conviction, but I really wouldn't be surprised, again, to test the top of these two candles and ultimately test 130. And that has been giving a tailwind to Tesla and Microsoft this morning, which is great. I did hold calls overnight in Microsoft. Tesla, didn't we call this perfectly? Unbelievable. I mean, we've been on top of this since 120, hitting swing target after swing target after swing target. We keep on upgrading it, and we've been right all along, and most acutely predicted that we'd break 200. This is 2 nights ago, 196. I said, hey, we've been consolidating for a while. I had a nice close here Tuesday night, and Elon Musk came out with Master Plan 3. Tomorrow is a great day to break 200 and make a quick move to 225. We've been talking about this 225 level for a while, and now it seems to be happening very quickly, just as we predicted. Whoever says you can't time markets, I'm sorry, you're wrong. The market makes sense. It's not chaotic. It's not irrational. It's not inefficient. It makes sense. You just got to do your homework to understand it. And when you do your homework to understand it, you can predict rapid re-ratings in the stock. We do it time and time and time again here at Story Trading. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. So Tesla is working out great. Microsoft on, look at this. Another way to look at Microsoft, keep looking at Google for validation. This is really important. You got money rotation. When you see Google going down like this, that just gave me more conviction because where's that money going? So this is money managers reacting to what's going on with Google and Microsoft. I don't think it's just retail folks, by the way. And let me tell you why. First of all, Microsoft, we've been front running this at least twice this year on ChatGPT news. In both cases, the stock took an extra day to react. And what was that extra day? What we saw the next morning were analysts talking about ChatGPT. It was both the first time it happened when the rumored investment, so it didn't move for like a day. It was a small move, and we're on top of it. And so we're 1 day early constantly on Microsoft. So this is institutional money moving around. So look at this move, this gap up. And when you see Google, it went down and it's staying down here this morning. That means billions and billions of dollars in institutional money is flowing into Microsoft. So that gives me good conviction for, man, we call 290 swing target. Isn't that crazy? It is crazy. But you know what? When it was 260, I was calling for like 270 the same day. And it happened. It was crazy. When we're down here, when it's 260, I'm like, hey, 270 can happen today. Hit it in after hours that day. Crazy, crazy. So we're talking about hundreds of billions of dollars in market cap moving around, talking about multi-trillion-dollar company moving like a penny stock, moving on sentiment and catalyst. I just love it. The story trading methodology works on multi-trillion-dollar companies. Imagine the massive money you can make on that trading call options. But in any case, we did create a resistance here yesterday, though, at 276.76. So we got that to deal with first before then 279, and then ultimately 289, 290 area is kind of the highest I'm willing to predict on Microsoft right now. American Airlines, I like it with the NASDAQ and the SPY up this morning and Disney up this morning. I like it. I don't know. It's taking a little bit of time here. I did add yesterday on the upgrade to $25. I thought that would be the catalyst, and it looked like it in the morning. So created another resistance here at 1744 and then 1764. And then hopefully you can make your quick move to $19. I mean, we've been on this for a while. It's holding that 20, riding up that 20-week moving average. So I actually feel good about American Airlines, although a little frustrating that it's not moving a little bit quicker. We had earnings out in CXW to see, is there a read-through on Geo? Now, honestly, it looked like a beat. The headlines coming in as a beat. You can see the revenue, a slight beat. I think the earnings were a bigger beat. But the guidance I saw for CXW for 2023 growth seemed kind of flat, like not a lot of growth, just like a little bit of growth. Now, the PEs here are really low, a 9 PE, I think. So these are like value plays, and CXW not, unless I read it wrong, we're not really forecasting big growth in 2023. I don't know. Like, I'm waiting for that big growth to happen because of what's happening with the border. Maybe Geo and CXW a little bit different, but I didn't see anything that jumps out at me that would cause a sympathy play in Geo. Okay, so we may just have to wait for Geo earnings, and maybe they're going to have better guidance than CXW did. It's at a very critical level. So hopefully there was nothing terrible in the CXW report, which would cause Geo to break below this key moving average. So I am holding this, and we'll see. I got killed holding Clearfield for earnings, but I am holding a rather large position in Geo and some call options going into earnings. I think it's next week or so. I'll nail down the date for you a bit later. Here it says the estimate is February 14th. But okay, Pepsi, maybe a sentiment move here for Celsius. So Pepsi had a beat, but guidance came in a little bit light, as everything is. Every stock is reacting good to the earnings right now, basically, every big cap especially. But, Celsius has been not participating in the party because it's like a sector that's out of favor. It's a little boring. It's food. It's safe. Everyone's going into the high-tech stuff and the growth names. So Celsius, though, maybe can get a tailwind out of this Pepsi beat. They're closely related, both in the same industry. Pepsi has a stake. But these technicals, I don't know. They don't really speak to me too much, but maybe we could test this 20 DMA here at like 101, a little over 100, maybe a buck or two in this. And who knows? Maybe it can make a move to 105 off of Pepsi. Maybe people starting to get interested again. When is the earnings? February 27th. Estimate. So something I'm keeping on my radar. I have in my IRA, not really trading it. Again, could get a little pop. CCJ uranium play up sharply on a big beat. So look for potential sympathy plays in uranium. Look at this. Above it's battling this 2936 resistance, and if it breaks 2936, then you can make a move to 31 plus. So I'm not chasing CCJ here. I have plenty of uranium exposure. AMLI comes to mind. My lithium and sneaky uranium play. And so maybe we'll see some sympathy moves in other uranium stocks, and AMLI up a little bit this morning. By the way, they got a little mention here. U.S. lithium mining market poised to grow at a sustainable this year as as lithium demand skyrockets. I don't know who wrote this report. Financial News Media did a little bit on AMLI. You can take a look at that. Maybe we'll get a sympathy move off CCJ, but really I'm just waiting for that news of the spinoff of the uranium assets of American Lithium. ASUR, a little bit of news. Remember, we interviewed the CEO. Nice little company. Valuation looks good. They may be getting into the Russell 2000. Last week, they had a press release on integration with H&R Block. Last night, they had one with TurboTax, Intuit's TurboTax. So lots of catalysts stacking one after another. I think Chris in our community really likes this as a Russell 2000 inclusion play. I do have some of my IRA, so good news out of that. DermTech, good news this morning that's not in the news feeds yet. I saw this come through on Twitter. Some government agency recommended the Veterans Administration for all the veterans and the hospitals and everything that to cover the DermTech assay here, the skin cancer assay. Man, I've liked DermTech for a long time. Unfortunately, I missed the bottom. It's right here at two supports, a 200 DMA, the 20 DMA. Let's move to the weekly. Actually, I don't have lines on my weekly, but this is bouncing off these two supports on this significant news. And now it's multiple wins that they're getting from the insurer side, one after another after another. I think may have reached an inflection point. Remember, the whole long-term thesis on this is, can this be the next Exact Sciences, right? And let's just look at Exact Sciences for a second. Exact Sciences, well, I only have a 5-year chart, but this is a $12 billion market cap. And man, I knew about the stock. I was kind of in it when it was like single digits, and I missed the ride up to 150. So I'm like, I'm not going to miss that again. That's why DermTech's been on my radar. A similar thing that's about preventing colon cancer, early screening of colon cancer in a non-invasive way. And this is the same thing. This is early screening of skin cancer in a non-invasive way. So very, very similar types of businesses with potentially, similar TAMs, and DermTech sitting here at 150 market cap. So even though it's up like 2 to 3 times from the bottom, if things come through for this company, this could be a 10-20 bagger, DermTech. So actually, I'll tell you the truth. I picked some up this morning in my IRA at 535. So we'll see. DermTech, got some hope for that long term. AIR, I told you, don't be too worried about this ATM offering. It bounced right off the 20 DMA. We called that in our chat room perfectly, right off 33. And I'm expecting news on AIR. This is the Gain Erickson playbook. Is that his last name? Gain. I don't know. You brain freeze. But the CEO of AIR, he'll put that ATM up. And then I'm expecting news over the next few weeks, more contract wins. They're going to sell the ATM into the news. Good things coming for AIR, holding tight in my IRA. That's a $50 to $200 stock in 2024 if they come through on Silicon Photonics. Talk, we're seeing a little bit of, well, you know what? It's very low volume, 2,000 shares. What's the bid here? 87 cents. This is one of my favorite stocks right now, if not maybe my favorite stock. It's the stacked catalysts are just unbelievable with this, between the JP Morgan comments, flipping a profitability, event anticipation of earnings coming up soon. This news release here about text therapy working, which brings up the speculation of maybe some sort of chat GPT integration. What else? The M&A activity that's going on with Oaktree and CVS buying Oaktree. I mean, these catalysts here are stacked. And this is a company trading at a negative EV that really hasn't participated in the risk asset boom, in January here. Like little movements here, but like most other stocks that were down here below $1, like negative EVs, they've gone up like 50, 70, 80%, 100% in many cases. And this one hasn't. So I'm very excited about Talk. A little surprised at DRIO action yesterday with that deal with not DermTech, with Dexcom. So I'm actually trying to look into that to make sure I'm not assessing that news incorrectly. At StoryTrading, we believe markets are efficient. If I don't see a move by day 2, sometimes it takes 2 days, but very often the rapid re-ratings on catalysts come the same day for the most part. And sometimes it comes the next day. But if I don't see a move in day 1 or day 2 on news that I think should re-rate the stock, then that means I have something wrong. So I've already reached out to management to learn a little bit more about I didn't hear back from them, but I want to learn more about this deal with Dexcom. Maybe it's not that significant. Maybe it's like an open API and anyone can integrate Dexcom. Maybe it's not a real true partnership. So I have to look into that. Okay. But maybe today. Remember, I said sometimes there's a one-day delay in re-rating. So let's see if DRIO reacts today. CANO, I'm still holding that on the sympathy move in the M&A sector here with the Oak Tree purchase from CVS at 180, 250 target still on CANO. You can check out, that's the gap I'm looking for right there at the bottom of that gap. And INMB, check this out. INMB, Alzheimer's drug, kind of curling up towards the 52-week high, 18 days to cover. Okay, this is 8.5% short, but the volume, the average daily volume is going to give shorts a very hard time. Imagine you're short a stock that's nearing a 52-week high, and it's 18 days to cover. And they had a catalyst yesterday. They got 6.4 million of cash in, which extends their runway by about a month. And this is something, if the FDA lifts the clinical hold on their Alzheimer's drug, Dan Carlson was telling us he could see the stock heading back to its all-time highs, 20 to $30. So watch this. This could be interesting, just based on technicals and shorts getting a little scared on the catalysts that just happened and potential upcoming catalysts that may happen. STNG broke our 55 swing target. The next swing target on STNG is the 52-week high of 57.71. So I got some of that, looking for that target. Matt in our community really likes this. Earnings are coming up soon. Massive buybacks, massive insider buys in this energy services play. So things are looking good there. SANW, this is the one they had the green energy deal with Shell, a little microcap company, 77 million working with Shell. So we had follow through on a second day. I really like seeing that. So I got back in yesterday. 190 here is resistance. If it can break over 190, especially here in pre-market, a little bit of psychological resistance at 2, but really that's my target, 238 at the 200 DMA on SANW. A little bit of news on GFS. I don't understand. I don't know this sector well, so I'm not in a position to tell you how important this news is. So take a look at this. If you're into the semiconductors, take a look at this news on GFS and let us know what you think. BLNK had some news, 10-year agreement to deploy 280 EV chargers, and they just did an offering at $12 with no warrant. So this might be enough of a catalyst to get the stock moving today. BLNK. GMER had some news, little penny stock, a collaborative development agreement with Merkai Studios for new Minecraft and Roblox games. So this is a little 5 million microcap, maybe a penny stock play. I put a note out to a couple of people in our community who follow this stock to get their opinion on it. We'll have to wait and see. Some news on SABR this morning, but we are running late. So now let's just hop on over to Vegas right now. Good morning, Vegas. We just killed it in Microsoft and Tesla. What's going on?
Yeah, good morning. So yeah, we definitely smashed it again with Tesla, especially Tesla. Like we said, we're bullish on Tesla. This $200 level was so important for Tesla to make that move. Beautiful move yesterday on Microsoft in the following the catalyst of the ChatGPT event. It did pull back yesterday a little bit because Google's event flopped, and that's why Google stock pulled back. Apparently their GPT was giving out wrong information, so they really embarrassed themselves. So maybe that had a little bit of an effect for a little pullback on Microsoft. But still watching Microsoft, still looks great. We'll see if it can break 276.76 today. But my focus today is going to be Tesla because I have a position in there. But one of my watches here today, obviously Disney had phenomenal earnings, right? And we have Bob Iger, who's going to be on TV this morning. So Disney, if anyone's in Disney or not in Disney, if you're in Disney, congrats. You had great earnings and great results. And I think what's going to be important to watch if you're not in Disney, you're going to want to watch this level here for a day trade for a break over 120 on Disney. So if it breaks 120, you could see 122, maybe 123.96. That's actually very good money on Disney. And then my other top watch, aside from Tesla, because Tesla's an active swing, so I'm looking for Tesla to go towards 220 and 225. So that's just a no-brainer there. But my other top watch is Apple, because I personally have not traded Apple in quite some time. So I'm definitely watching Apple today. If it breaks 154, which it looks like it can do, Okay, we're pretty close to breaking 154. I will take a trade on Apple in the money. I'll go at like 155 calls. But here's the thing: if Apple breaks today 157, which by the way, it has the potential to do that today, I will definitely go long on Apple. I will take 160 calls from March 17, and I will swing trade Apple, and I'm going to be looking for a target on my swing trade, because obviously swing trading, as you guys know, different strategy. But I will be looking for Apple to head towards 165. So I'm looking for like a $10 move from like where it trades today. If it breaks 157, I will definitely take a 160 contracts for March 17 expiry. So we'll see how the day plays out. But those are my top two picks: Disney, Apple, and Tesla.
I love it. I'm on board with you, especially with Tesla. We've been totally aligned on Tesla. Microsoft, I still love. Can I get your quick opinion on American Airlines? That's been stagnating a little bit. I've been expecting this to pop, and it really hasn't broken out yet.
The thing is with American Airlines, like I do love this weekly chart. I mean, this thing is like screaming, like it's time to go. It's time to go. Like go up. Like it's a very nice chart. These travel stocks, the thing with these travel stocks, they take time to move. And the only way they work is obviously if you're in a swing trade. Otherwise, you could be sitting here for days on end, frustrated. So I actually like Delta. I'm in a Delta Airlines swing trade. I have the $40 calls for March 17 and $45 calls for Delta. But American Airlines is a great swing trade as well. I mean, you're in the comments, or are you in options?
In both. I got the options yesterday, and I'm
for
in the
what month though?
I think it was about 3 or 4 weeks out, like an 18 strike, something like that.
Okay, so you have a swing trade for like next month. So you're good with that. Definitely want to see this make a move. I mean, these travel stocks are lagging. The thing is, I haven't really seen like any big flow. Where I've seen the flow go was on Delta Airlines and also in terms of travel stocks like LVS, Las Vegas Sands. I haven't seen any flow on American Airlines lately. Nevertheless, it doesn't matter. The chart is nice. I like flow because then I know there's a move coming, but I still love the technicals on American Airlines. I actually think this can go towards 19. Like, if you have a March
target
contract, yeah, like $19 is great. And then if it does break that, this can go to like 21.30. So those are my first two targets, like 19 and then 21.30. So that would be like where I'm headed, like where I would want to see if you have a March contracts. So, but beautiful swing chart. I love the weekly chart. Very nice support here at $15.85. Beautiful, beautiful support. And this chart is really nice. Had a beautiful golden cross yesterday. Did you see yesterday it went above the 200-day moving average 2 days ago?
I see it. Yep. Golden cross.
Yeah. So, I love when I see a golden cross on the chart, especially on the weekly. So that's like telling me it's time to make a move. So I hope we see some excitement on the stock. The float's not that small, so it's going to take time. They did mention today, I don't know if you know, but they did mention that they priced a $750 million senior notes.
I saw that
on American Airlines. Yeah. So these won't be due till 2028. And what they're going to do with the proceeds, together with the cash on hand, they're going to use that to repay a portion of the term loans they have that are outstanding. So, they do expect that any term loans not repaid from the net proceeds of the notes will then be amended to extend the maturity date to February 2028. So, these notes will close on February 15. So I think that's actually really good.
Yep. All right. Sounds great. Vegas. Everyone, you can follow her. I Love Stocks 1. We're killing it here
send me
every
the
day.
video from today because I can put on my YouTube channel, because a lot of my followers want to hear me talking, and they follow my channel too on YouTube. So I'd love to showcase story trading and I Love Stocks together on my channel as well. So send me the video when you have a chance.
We will definitely do that. All right, guys. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Thank you. Have a great day, everyone.